Okay, so we're nearing the end of the first quarter, and we're talking parent-teacher conferences. It is that time, and as I've said, I have one with my 9-year-old's teacher Friday morning at 8 a.m. Well, as a former educator, psychotherapist Russell Hyken is here to talk about how to get the most out of that limited time you have with your child's teacher. Well, back to teacher conference. It can be a very stressful thing. I don't know what the teacher's going to say. How has your child really been behaving? It is stressful.
It is stressful, so that's why you need to prepare an agenda ahead of time to kind of control the conference and make sure you get what you need out of it.
You also say to talk to our kids ahead of time.
Most definitely. Talk with your kids and ask them what concerns they have, what excites them about their teacher, what worries them about their coursework. And also, if your school has virtual campus, take a look at that before you walk into the meeting as well.
And when you say virtual campus, they have websites.
Websites, grades online, are assignments done, how are they doing, do you notice a pattern, are they struggling with tests or papers? Have all that information ahead of time.
And the other reason that I talk to my son ahead of time, I say, okay, am I going to get any surprises? So tell me now before I go see your teacher. I mean, we really want to know what's going on in their mind so then I can address that with the teacher.
Exactly. And the teacher is the eyes and ears of the parent during the school day. And by going to that conference, they know that you're concerned about your child, so they'll take a natural interest. They have such a large teacher. So let's do something to make sure that your child gets noticed for good and for other reasons.
And others, I don't usually do that. Should we or should we not? What do you think?
Well, I think you can make an argument on either side, but I would tend to want to maybe have the children stay at home until you know what's going to go on in the conference. It gives you the opportunity to talk more freely with the teacher and really raise issues without being sensitive to upsetting your child in the moment. Then go home and have that conversation.
When I was growing up, the teacher was always right. And there seems to be a more adversarial relationship these days between parents and teachers. I remember a parent saying to me once that, you know, I'm sick of that school, they send me notes home all the time. And I thought to myself, well, is your child misbehaving all the time? I mean, you're getting notes.
I say welcome those notes. I mean, you know, that means that teacher is paying attention to your child, and that's a great thing. And, you know, when you get those phone calls, I get excited and say, hey, what's going on? If there is a problem, find out what the problem is. Brainstorm some strategies together, and then set a time to follow up. Let's make sure that that problem doesn't get larger. Go ahead.
And Russell just said to get excited when you get a phone call from school. That's a tough one to sell.
It is, and so you have to reframe that, not to have anxiety when you see the school name on there, but go, wow, you know what, the school is interested, and that's why my child is going to school, to learn, to help us be a better family, to just sort of get somewhere in life.
Unfortunately, for some, because we're also busy, that parent-teacher conference may be the only time that some parents are talking to the teacher.
You are correct. And what I encourage is families to go to school and passively make connections with their teacher. You know, if you happen to run in to drop a note off in the office and you see your teacher in the hall, go over and introduce yourself to your child's teacher. Or go to a school event, and if you see the teacher, say, hey, what's going on? And kind of know what's going on in their class all the time, so you can, you know, say, hey, my son says that's a great thing that's going on. That's a great project.
It's so interesting you say that. I remember a principal saying to me when my son was in the 6th grade, now in the 8th grade, that she didn't know my son off the top of her head, and her assessment was, that must mean he's not in trouble.
You know, and those are the kids that fall in the crack, or those nice kids that do their job. But you know what, those are the kids that also need the most support, too. And so I think you do have to get involved, and you do have to raise your hand to those teachers and say, hey, I want to know, even if my kid's not getting into trouble. Send home a compliment.
From parents and those who want to do a job to parents who are a bit stressed out, and I heard this morning on CBS News that more parents are taking their kids to modeling tryouts to make extra money. There's some pressure that we put on our kids that maybe we don't mean to, maybe we do mean to, like Balloon Boy's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, the pressure to be, you know, get out there and be famous. We're obvious, to me, it's obvious we're doing something wrong. We are pressured.
Balloon Boy's father and is an attention addict, you know, a fame junkie. Why would you put your child in that situation? And the research there is showing that they're looking for social acceptance. It's not about their kids. It's not about making the money necessarily. For Balloon Boy, it was about, wow, I need to get some attention from Elf.
And what does that do to a child? Whether it's a helicopter parent, which those are the parents that are always there and always hovering over their kids, or somebody as as well known, unfortunately, in a bad way, as Balloon Boy's dad.
Well, children learn their behaviors from their parents. So what Balloon Boy took away from this is it's okay to be a bit deceitful, to get a little bit of acknowledgement. And so you're modeling behaviors that you want your kids to be. So if you're looking for fame and you're doing whatever you can to get it, then that's what your kids are going to think is proper. And is that really the child that you want to raise? I'd rather see them promoting family values and not going after that fame.
Exactly. Well, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to have a little conference with him, getting ready for my parent-teacher conference Friday at 8. All right. Well, so here's the question that everyone asks in St. Louis, or many of you anyway. Where did you go to high school? Well, we ask it in St. Louis because it's an important question. Next, we're talking about the benefits of going to a same-sex school versus